Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Want Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator. Now, you're up and about, dog.
Isn't he?
A day is a long time in fantasy.
For someone...
Trades open up, you get a bit more up and about. No, I'm actually really
For someone who is, I'm looking at your score here, definition of a loser.
I tried to forget about it.
Well...
We were actually going to ignore this first segment.
No, we can't ignore it every week, dog.
Man, oh man, dog. What happened?
We'll get it over and done with. 22.89 is putrid. It's no good. It made me slip 700 spots in the ranks. So that goal of trying to be inside the top 10,000 is probably not there. And the other goal...
I know.
Trying to get you, Calvinator, is about
No.
160 points.
It's not about
now.
you getting me. It's about that I've got you because I was Mr. 30,000.
Wow,
I have. Yeah, I've fought back. I'm an inspiration, people are
You
saying.
are.
Yeah.
I have heard people say.
So, whereas I don't know what the opposite of an inspiration is, one, but you would be it. Roy, what'd you have?
23-47, just another mediocre blah round that fits in perfectly with the rest of my season, Cal.
Lovely. 24-51 for the King over here. And I am nearly, Roy.
Oh, man, you're close.
Slightly on the instep of
10,000.
stepping inside the 10,000.
You're going to make it, aren't you?
Just 21 spots outside.
You should.
Yeah, I'll get there this
You
week.
should. If you don't, that's a failure.
Oh, here we go.
It's a massive failure.
Here
if
we
you can't do it from
go.
there.
He is just trying to find ways for you to fail things.
I know.
Failure or success first? Choose.
Failure.
It was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen.
Because it's just not acceptable.
Oh, well. Probably start summing up my weekend. Spend cash. Just get the big boy. Spend cash, get the big boy. Could have mixed around with, some great advice during the week that came out of the Warn Dog's mouth or our mouths here. Nic Newman. Who was the other one?
Pretty much
Matt
everyone
Crouch.
else.
All these ones where I had, I can go with those guys, make that work.
Yeah.
No. Instead, I decided to go with Josh Dunkley. Now,
What a performance that was.
81 points is, well, not what you want from a premium. Let alone on the first week you pick them up
I know.
because you need them to be going out. Like I've paid $960K for him where I could have waited a week.
Yeah.
Now, 6 points in the first quarter. And I know I've seen on Twitter, I don't know about your feeds, but when people write in, they go, hey, thanks for your tip of Nic Newman. Thanks for your tip. You know what? Actually doesn't help.
No, it
doesn't make me feel any better.
No.
Anyway, so we all jumped on Dunkley this week, didn't we?
So we all did it.
Unbelievable.
So I narrowed it down to 5 options myself. Every other one of them went over 110.
Love it.
Yeah, very frustrating.
And the worst part is that you go for that safety. You go for just spend up. I did a cow.
Yeah.
Just spend up for the premium because, and this is the other part of me being all about me here.
Yes, as usual, yes.
I don't have Bont, who had a 150.
Yep.
I don't have Sicily, who had a 160. I know that Dawson didn't have a massive score or anything, but I don't have those big boys.
No.
I thought I must get a big boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that just went and
So
pulled my pants
you know
down.
what we do? We fluctuate between don't be stupid and pay up when these other guys are going to score the same, and we flip and flop between and just fall on the wrong side of it far too often.
I'd hate to be listening to us.
No, because we pump out good advice through the week.
Yeah.
That's why people had Nic Newman.
Yeah.
And they got $250K in the bank instead of going somewhere like that.
Laughing.
Laughing, all right.
Laughing all the way to the bank.
Roy?
Mine... Thank you for giving it to Dunkley on behalf of all of us.
I think I got in there first.
Yeah, and good on you, because he would have been mine as well. That frustrated me so much yesterday. But I got caught up in the form team of the competition's game yesterday, the Blue Boys coming home like a steam train. And for one of the first times this year, I forgot to switch off. I did switch off my fantasy head, and I was just cheering the Blue Boys home. Now, a bit unprofessional by me, given I had so many Saints playing.
Very unprofessional.
I should have been whipping them a little bit at the same time. But one thing I didn't notice until the end of the game was I didn't see much of Jack Steele that quarter. And there's a reason.
Yeah.
-2.
Yep.
Negative
final
2
quarter.
in the last quarter.
And Brad Crouch?
Yeah, he had 0.
0.
So between our two big premium Saint midfielders
Yep.
we've got, and we've all got them, don't we?
Yeah. Now, in Brad's defence, he'd at least done some work that afternoon.
Yeah.
Still
was
hadn't
okay
done
to do that.
anything.
So just when you thought Steele couldn't get any worse, he has his lowest score for the year.
So you're looking at
Lowest.
Steele going 61. He'll get a 90 here
Yep.
and just sail through the week, won't have his name mentioned.
Yep.
But he went backwards.
Yep.
Australia's still
Giving a negative 3, he nearly scored that in the last damn quarter.
He did.
What an...
I think Crouch and Steele had one touch between them in the last term.
Now, does mainstream media, have they picked up on this yet?
No.
What happened?
No, they haven't.
Wait till the penny drops that
Yep.
those two midfielders, their main men in the middle, did that.
Scarlett Hardness said it was always going to happen, though, Destroy.
So that's
reckon.
Is that good for the Blues, or is that they got lucky because they
It's
were putrid?
No, the Blues went, okay, it's time to put the
Yep.
foot on the throat.
Pedal to the metal.
Yeah, pedal to the metal.
Yep.
And they hammered them. They are a red team
Oh, yes.
because they are coming in
Red,
hot.
hard and fast.
Hard and fast, all right.
Now, I'm going my negative 3. It might be controversial, but I don't think it is. To Nick Daicos.
Fair
And I
enough.
know what we're thinking. He's injured, and that's
No,
terrible.
I'm not
and
thinking that.
we will talk about that later on and options for him, of course. But he wasn't doing anything. Okay, and I know it's a tag. What we saw out here that day in that
Yes.
preseason game
Yes.
finally came true in round 21. But he was flogged.
He was.
Absolutely dominated.
He was.
He, of the kicks that he had, he was only taking kick-ins. He got gifted a goal that
Yes.
probably shouldn't have been.
Yes.
Scored 37. He sat out the last term or whatever. But up until that point, he was doing nothing.
Doesn't matter. The job was done. You've given him a negative 3 for his first 3 quarters.
Yes.
Where he averaged 10.
This is not an injury-related negative 3.
No, I'm not that cruel.
He was averaging 10 a quarter, basically.
Yeah, and the thing is, old Finn is an elite
He is.
tagger. He's a beast.
He's up there, isn't he?
Right. So I have a question, putting my Captain Pirate hat on here. This week, they play the Bulldogs out here at UTAS.
Please be Bond.
I can't see it
Please
being
be
Bont.
Bont.
Roy,
I don't care if it is.
yeah.
That's why Bont should be the Brownlow medalist this year.
Yep.
Because if Finn is trying to hang off bloody Bont's jumper, he's going to get annihilated.
Yep. Bont too big, too strong.
Yes.
Bont can go forward and kick a bag like he did. I was in the third
quarter.
Yeah, unbelievable. Bag 3. So that's what the Bont can do.
I don't think he can go with Bont.
I think
Bont's
he
too
could
big
go.
inside.
I think he could go to a Caleb Daniel.
Oh, yes,
So
please.
He went to a Rioli.
Don't.
I think he went to like a Sinclair.
Yeah, it's way more the type
it's
he
achievable.
shuts down.
It's achievable.
Well,
And
anything's
more-
achievable if you're on the small potato.
That's true.
And more realistic size-wise.
Yeah.
Well, it's beyond realistic. He'll look like a giant out there.
So he would look like a giant. So I just don't think it's going to be Bont. But
No.
that is the first game on a Sunday.
Man, oh man. If you think Ballarat's the only place Caleb can score 20s and 30s,
No, he's going to have some good support here on Sunday.
Are you wearing a helmet?
I'll wear my old orange stack
Stack
hat. And I'll bring a megaphone.
hey, Caleb.
I'm a potato.
Oh, don't do that to him.
That was a bit
It'll
odd.
sap his confidence.
Yeah.
Geez, he started well for the record.
He
but
did. Oh, we kicked 2 goals.
Hey,
It was-
he might get
going
Warney's
very
+3 here.
Could he?
Oh,
be a
anything
chance.
could happen.
Well, he
Oh,
got
is that where
80.
we're going?
He'd be up there
You
with your
said
top
press the button,
scorers.
Warn Dog.
Here it is! That's what you did, you stuck it right up them.
Speaking of buttons, can you get one ready for me? Because you know where this is going. You know
can't
where
start
this
it.
is going.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Sick dog! The dog!
Man,
The dog!
He barked.
Who let the dogs out? He was
Redonkulous what he did.
19 marks.
Yeah.
19 marks, 37 touches. The dog was let off the lead.
If Warney's wearing a stack hat, can you bring a sign, beware savage dog or something?
Yeah.
And just get behind the big fella?
So I've already looked at numbers on the dog.
Right.
And you know what? Maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
we could captain the dog. So,
Oh, it'd be fun.
3 games at UTAS this year, 125, 115, 132.
Oh, wow.
He played against the Bulldogs in round 7. 6 marks that day. The dog had a quiet one.
No
Yeah.
schmacko for
so
you.
96 he scored. Last year, at the end of the season, he played the Bulldogs out here.
Oh, I
Remember that
recall
day?
this, yes.
He scores 151
Yeah.
and slowed down in the last. It was going to be nasty. Now, if the Dogs coming off 160,
Yeah.
meets a team out here that he scored 150 against last year.
Yes.
I'm looking at defenders last week. Jaden Short, 7 marks. Vlostone, 8 marks. Bolter, 7 marks.
Oh, boy.
The marks will be there. Unless,
The week before were big.
Yeah.
Or no, 2 weeks. Or 2 weeks before.
So it was even
Against
the week.
Bombers, was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the week
huge,
before that,
huge.
it was. Whitfield had 9 marks for 134. Sam Taylor had 8 marks.
Oh, boy.
So the dog will be barking.
How many marks?
15.
Well, and that's where we're talking captain areas. Because I need to check the weather.
So he loves here, Utah Stadium.
He does. He likes a dry day as well. He doesn't like drizzle.
No, he doesn't.
So I will keep
Build
working
a roof
on it.
over this stadium.
Well, yeah, they could chuck a roof over this. Big tarp.
Yeah. Bunnings is just over the road.
So
Sure, they could whip something up.
so there he is. The sick dog delivered 160, and he's a massive captain option this week.
We're going to talk trade targets later, but he's almost a must-have then, isn't he?
That button will be worn out by the end of this
It will.
podcast.
It will.
Roy, did you have anything good?
Yeah, bloody oath I did. Zak Butters was back.
He's back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was mid-season, Zak Butters.
Yep.
So he's been finding the ball when he's been scoring these sub-hundreds, but he stat stuffed again.
Now, here's a guy I'm looking to bring in. Can I bring him in now that I've
Yes.
seen this?
Yes.
You tick it
Needed
off.
to see one game where, because he was, and he does, like he's a mini wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And he was carrying a few things, but he's over that now. I wanted to see one big one where I was convinced he's over it before recommending people jump back on.
Yep.
You can jump back on now.
Yeah, 8 marks.
Yeah.
6 tackles.
Yes.
Yep.
He worked hard.
Did you have anyone good in your team this week, Warren?
Zach Merritt, my captain, 128.
Not bad.
Good captain.
Yeah.
Thanks for the tip at
You're
number
welcome.
one.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Even though you were abusing me,
yeah.
saying that I wasn't following you.
You didn't.
No, I did. I made your number one pick, my captain.
Well, you had English though. You could
I
advise
made my number one pick.
I just can't
You
do
made
it.
your number one pick, my captain.
I can't do everything for him.
No.
You missed
No.
out on 3 points.
Oh, whoop-de-doo. I needed 333 to actually have a respectable score.
You'd be one kick closer to Cow, though.
That's it.
Imagine if it comes down.
there
to
was
well,
only
there you
3
go.
points in it last
I
week.
tell you what, the amount of times that you've missed out on points by poor
not
captain,
following you.
Oh,
by
we
not
should
following.
do some captain
I think he-
calculations to see who's had the best captains this
I
year.
think
And if you get a good one, why is that? Me.
I think Dog's been cheating on you.
He has.
How's that
I think
cheating?
he's been outsourcing.
Yeah. He has.
Captain advice.
Have you been? No, he hasn't.
No.
Have you been following others?
Who would follow others? You told me I shouldn't. And I didn't.
I feel like I've been cheated on.
Now,
I reckon.
Yeah.
a little bit of an
bit
update
awkward in here now.
of the chase for that HuLux. And make sure you subscribe to this feed here because we're going to be chatting to some HuLux hunters. In some special midweek bonus
HuLux
podcast.
hunters.
Had a great one last week with Steen. So you can go back and have a listen to that. Dr. Drill.
It's a good chat.
Unfortunately, dropped out of the top 10.
Yeah,
Oh,
13th,
13th now.
We didn't help. Is that what you're telling me?
No.
It's
No one
brutal,
will
though.
want to come on now.
No.
The scores, though, it's still so close, though, that massive run at the top. But Wise Ocean Pods is sitting on top there at the moment. Darren's team scored a 24.95. Very nice score there to be able to do that. Basically 161 points up on Jonathan's Fleabaggers at the minute. So they're the two at the top. But Love at First Lance had a 25-21 in third place and only 6 points behind Fleabaggers. So it is going to be a massive run over these last 3 weeks. A chase for the hat is a nice thing. Now, we just do want to give another shout out to Dayan.
He's killing it.
He's killing it.
So he was 22nd for the week.
What?
So it's moved up to 125. His team can't go so wrong. 49 points off a hat. So at least we've got some success.
Yes.
The fourth trader.
Yeah.
Maybe he can replace you, Cal.
Check your ranking, bro.
Dominating. So he's, that's going to be what I'm doing. He thanked me for my help the other day, too.
What have you ever done?
probably told him some advice, and then he went dead against it. That might have been.
There you
what
go.
he did
Yeah,
know.
he's cutting the mustard at the moment,
Yes.
fella, isn't he?
Smashing
He's
it.
killing it.
He's killing it.
Smashing it. Yeah, so go and check out those rankings. The team of the week was another massive one with a 2,600.
It's rude what they're doing at
just-
the top.
That's cow areas.
Huge. Votes for the round 22 edition of the Michael Barlow Medal, the cash cow of the year. And how about this for a debut for a defender? 90 points thanks to 9 marks and 4 tackles to get James Borlase 5 votes in his first game.
My boy Ollie Hollands claimed 4 votes with his 87. He filled the stat line nicely with 20 touches, 4 marks and 6 tackles.
My old mate, Will Phillips, had 7 tackles down in Hobart for 83 points and 3 votes.
In the same game, Cade Chandler scored 81 and grabbed the 2 votes after kicking 3 games. Now, that's the 5th time he's booted 3 this year.
Dylan Williams, he doesn't mind a mark, taking 9 at GMHBA Stadium for 79 and 1 vote.
He's back.
Let's look at the leaderboard that has Sheezel on top with 71 votes, Ashcroft 42 and 17 for Will Phillips, who has jumped into 3rd, while Cade Chandler, who has taken his place inside the top 5. Now, if you're watching this, you need to go and download our podcast so you can listen to the interview that we just did with
Harry Sheezel.
Sheezel.
Bloody awesome. The winner of the Michael Barlow Medal.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
All right. We'll do the next bit.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
All right, plenty of news. And we sort of talked about this one before because it is a huge one, and that is Nick Daicos. So he will be out for 6 weeks. So that's the remainder of the AFL Fantasy season.
Yep.
And probably, does he play another game this year?
Well, they reckon 6
He
weeks
will.
is generous. Sorry, not generous. What's the opposite of that?
Conservative.
Yeah, they're thinking it's going to be more 6 to 8.
Really?
Yeah,
Crikey.
So-
Clubs are usually on the lower end when they announce it, don't they?
they are. So, yeah.
Hello, Clayton Oliver.
Well,
God, good
he
point.
could be back this week.
Daicos will play finals.
You would think so.
Yeah, some of.
So it's a hairline fracture.
Yeah.
Is what it was. And so, yeah,
it's
I
nearly
can't
what
believe
I-
you gave him a -3. Kicking
Yeah,
him while he's down.
that's
Cal.
that's disgusting
really not
behaviour.
nice.
Pretty sure I have a hairline fracture of my knee, Roy, after what happened the other
Last
day.
week.
How
Wouldn't
is it?
surprise me.
How's the update? What
it's-
would the injury list say for you?
It would, from playing AFL or walking up the stairs successfully.
Indefinite. Both.
Running up the stairs, I would still give it, still a couple of weeks. It's still a bit fat, restrictive movement.
Yeah.
You could jab it and play the GF, though.
If
Of
required.
stair running.
If required.
We need a lift to
Yeah,
this.
we do.
We're getting on.
We are.
We need a lift to this office.
Right. Nathan Murphy. Out of the same game. 2 to 3 weeks for him. Sinders.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Haven't
the
heard it
Sins-
for a
Sinders
while.
for a little while.
Sins back.
It was there every week there for
It
a while.
was, wasn't it?
Now, Tom Mitchell was icing up his thigh after being subs. Where is Tommy Mitchell?
He's on his way out, unfortunately.
In an ice bath, given the size of the bruise on his leg. Did you
That
see
was
it?
massive.
Yep.
That was,
It's a big thigh.
yeah. I actually,
He's playing then. Like, he's not going to be missing games. or
I wouldn't
anything.
think so.
no, but it was big.
They play Friday night, so it's a short turnaround, which is actually a tricky one for them.
Have you ever had a bruise like that on your,
Not a visible one like
they're
that.
very painful.
That looked
like
bad.
extreme. This, I remember at high school, right? This is,
Yep.
this guy.
A long time ago.
Yeah, he sung at an assembly. Did an awful job of it. I was like grade 7. And I don't know why. I told him after. I was like, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Oh, you
And no, I got what I deserved. He gave me an old school dead leg. Bang.
Big
And
corky.
yeah, and it bruised up. I tell you, a week and a half, struggled to run. And it looked like
My
Tom
God.
Mitchell. Yeah, I don't know why I said it.
Why did you say
It
that?
was awful. It was really bad. Like
but he
beyond.
was just trying his best.
No, he was a bit arrogant. He deserved to be feedback, but
as
just from
arrogant-
someone bigger than me.
As arrogant as the person who then found him to tell him that it was
Oh,
sucked
I didn't look for him. I just happened to bump into him.
and said, you know,
And
that
you told him that.
Oh, no, it was stupid. I learnt my lesson.
You
He
did
taught
learn
me.
your lesson.
Yeah, no, but as soon as I hadn't thought about that for like 30 years, and then I saw Tom Mitchell's leg, and I was like, oh, I remember.
Did Tom Mitchell tell someone?
Oh, he
Something.
could have. I don't know if he was chirping off out there or
what
not.
song did he sing?
He went with some Metallica number.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. He shouldn't have gone there. Like, it was a stupid decision.
This might be Roy's audition to go on the voice as one of the judges.
Yeah, I couldn't have done any. Well, I could have actually, to be honest.
How many weeks were you out for that?
The only decent thing I've heard you sing is Shannon Noel, What About Me at 3 a.m. at the bar.
And was it decent or was it good?
No. You were standing on the bar. It was decent, yes.
The performance was better than the vocals.
Well, that's fair too.
That's it.
I wouldn't give you a dead leg for that feedback.
Oh, right.
Anyway, so he might miss this week. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, Jacob Hopper, they had a head clash. He went in the HIA and he'll be out with concussion. Chase Jones, a foot there. Now, Will Powell, that was devastating. They had to get on the green whistle for his leg. He was dominating too.
He
92 from 65% time on ground. So he's just been unlucky with a lot of injuries.
Yeah, so what was that in the end? Did you hear?
I think it was a snap.
Was it? Yeah.
I think.
Because I didn't know if it was dislocated or broken. What was going on?
Actually,
it was nasty.
Didn't find the final news on that. Now, Harrison Petty yesterday rolled his ankle and was subbed out. 2 goals now. Anything here to worry about for the Max Gorn owners that old Fordcraft Grundy comes in?
I think no. I don't think we have to worry about it.
So Grundy didn't get to play. Well, there wasn't a VFL game for him on the weekend. So whether you see that as a positive or a negative, because he didn't play it and was even worse in his Fordcraft.
No, I don't think Grundy will be coming back in for anything other than a max rest, should they choose to go that way, but they rested him in game yesterday. So
yeah, he spent a fair bit of time on the pine at the end of the game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Speaking of rucks, Darcy Fort, hammy issue late in the game. Now, Big O should be back this week after his ankle. So
after just avoiding the Freo matchup.
Yeah, again. Well, and speaking of, okay, so Fremantle, Luke Jackson, what was it, 149 he had?
Massive.
Bailey Williams from West Coast has been given 1 week by the MRO for rough conduct.
No way.
Who do Fremantle play this week? It's the Derby.
Oh, if it wasn't bad enough that Bailey was already a backup ruckman, no disrespect, but realistically.
The Fremantle ruck run has been unbelievable. So,
how do they
running
do
through
this?
this, Paul James actually sent us this on Twitter the other day. What the Freo rucks have had. So, obviously, it was Darcy, and we were pretty much talking about Darcy having easy matchups all the time.
Yeah.
It was like it just kept happening. So, round 3, West Coast, which West Coast basically, because there's no Nick Nat or hasn't been, like, they're all been second stringers or whatever. But Williams has got better.
He has.
As the
He
years
has.
gone. Wasn't there for the previous Derby. No Wits against Gold Coast. Against the Bombers, no Draper. Against Carlton, they had no Pitbull or DeConning.
Oh, my God.
So didn't have either of them. Against Collingwood, it was when Darcel Cameron was out. Sydney, well, it was against no one. Because that was even like anyone there. And then
Hickton.
on the weekend, and then this weekend coming. It's just an amazing run that they've had.
Yeah, so that he's got no ruck this week, and then next week he plays against Port Adelaide.
Oh, my goodness.
Which could be...
Lysett in for surgery.
So it could be... it will be Vicentini. So he won't have an opponent. Well, he will, but it will be a second string or even a third string Jamo over the next 2 weeks.
Unbelievable.
Oh, wowee. It's just amazing. But it makes him an option.
Too right it does.
Too right.
True, right.
100%. Now, Braden Campbell's also been offered a week, Bedford a week, and Brent Daniels a week as well. They're the main ones. We'll have to see if anything comes out this evening for the next lot of, what do you call them? Look, MRO things.
Reviews, yeah.
Sounds good.
That's what they're called, aren't they?
Something like that.
I think so.
It's Gemma here from AFL Media. AFLW Fantasy is here for 2023. You can start picking your team today at aflwfantasy.afl to be in the running to win a Toyota Corolla Cross valued at up to $49,000. Pick your squad of 21 players and set up your league to go head-to-head with your family and friends. Stay tuned on women's.afl and the AFLW app for all your AFLW Fantasy news.
All right, let's have a look at our issues of the week, and probably the number one thing is Nick Daicos. Super highly owned. Like out of the top 10,000 coaches, that's not us, Cal. We're outside the top 10,000 coaches. We got him.
Yeah.
What would he be? 98% owned.
Yeah.
Now, there was
huge.
a few high IQ players
Yes.
that did some interesting stuff last week, seeing the Finn Maginness tag coming.
Yeah.
And they either A, traded him out. I think I saw all 189 of those coaches. Say
And well
they tried
done.
him,
Definitely.
Well
because
done.
There's only 189.
That did it?
Yeah.
Oh, my. They're all on Twitter.
They were loud.
And they know my handle as well because they told me, every one of them. That's extraordinary. Only that many.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it must have
But a
been
lot
thousands.
then went the loop. So there's a lot of
Okay.
coaches that have maybe 23 premiums, or their trades were then dictated
Yes.
because of that score being the Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon that it
Yes.
was. So they put him on
That
the
was
bench.
a smart play.
And then we're able to play someone. They might have played their bench rookie instead of him because you'll be taking on a 37 no matter what. Anyway, that's what's happened. Coaches were able to do that. Well done to the 189 that were a step ahead.
Well done.
There were a couple out there, and they were high-profile ones that went him to SicDawg. Like,
bang.
That was probably the
That's
greatest move of all time.
That's how you
could
make
not-
a move at the top, isn't it, at the moment?
You
Moves
could
like that.
not. If you walk around and your face wasn't looking smug, there's something wrong with you. You're not human because that
I
was
would
an
have been
amazing
smug
move.
with that. Now, we actually were stupid because we looped our captain in the back line.
Yeah,
and
so
we could have quite
actually
easily
done
just done it
something
with
there.
him. So the options there, say for me, would have been,
Well, I actually did that. So I had Daicos on my bench.
oh,
but
right.
I was just too far out thinking what I could do.
Yeah,
Do you know
okay.
what I could have done?
What?
I could have taken a better score out of my forward line off the bench and got Nic Newman instead.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So it would have mean, if I had have done that, been smart enough to do that, it would have mean I kept Mills and been kissed for the first time this year.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Oh, how did Millsy not get my +3?
I don't have a clue.
That's given that. to
yeah.
him.
He deserved that.
He doubles his score.
He deserved my -3. Honestly, the pain he's put
He
me
was
through,
out.
and then he does that.
He was out of my team all week until literally Friday night where I go, no, better keep him.
How are you ranked at
Yeah,
25,000?
I know. Unbelievable.
It's not 25.
Oh,
So, Roy, we're looking at options for Daicos.
Right.
What are we going to do with the big fella? Because, as you said, Dog, highly owned. He needs to be moved on. And there's plenty of options
there are.
at the top end and middle end.
So do we start with the back line then? Like if
I
it
think
is
so.
a back line
Start
move.
with the backs.
Yep.
Yep. Now, I'd like to say just go to the top and Dawson if you don't have him. Because he's someone, like you said earlier, Dog, you want those guys at the top of the line.
After last week.
But Dunkley
Negative.
reminded us that that's not always the best move. I think Dawson's a little bit different to Dunkley, but he's over $1 million. So I'm putting a line through him.
You're spending it near 150
Yeah.
to get him.
So it's too much.
I can't do that.
No, it's too much. So I'll just go through. I haven't crunched all my numbers for my roll on 22, which I'll do tomorrow. But at the moment, that's usually a good spot to look. And I see Dawson, Docherty, Sicily, Sinclair, Newman, and Wanganeen Miller still rounds that out.
Okay.
Okay, so they're the current I've done a tweak of it, but I haven't totally updated it.
Yep.
But that's the current top 6, okay? All of those are viable options, depending on where your team's at. But there's some other value at the moment that is well worth considering.
Well, let's start with that rolling 22 there, though. So you've got Doc ahead of Sicily. That's without an update. Is there an update that could see Sicily ahead?
Yeah, I'll have to click refresh on that one a couple of times, make sure it all comes out correctly. I do feel like Docherty is still probably worthy of number 2, but I reckon it's that close.
Okay, so if you're saying it's so close, well then, if you don't have Docherty or Sicily, you're picking Docherty for 43k cheaper. Does that sound? Would you do that?
It sounds bad.
On the scale of hardness, there are 2 dark green teams.
Yeah.
One St Kilda, one is Western Bulldogs.
Yeah.
The dog
And
has
that's
a day.
where I think you have to go there,
I
don't
will
you?
click that refresh.
I think a lot of...
And it's all about what they score for the next 3 weeks.
And at the moment, I'm in this position like most others, and
So you
I
don't
don't have
Doc.
Docherty or Sicily.
Yeah.
It'll be the dog that comes in.
So, and you're doing that without too much hesitation. You're saying
Zero
that.
hesitation, I'm doing it.
So rolling 22 probably.
It's not up to me. I've just got to crunch the numbers.
So
Doc.
if you're going a bit cheaper, then this is where these guys may not necessarily be those top 6 defenders, but could be. And the one that probably could be, based on last week, is Nic Newman. Now, he's at 838k. Obviously had his matchup.
He's had it.
He's
Yes.
had it. What's he got to come, though?
So he's got Melbourne, Gold Coast, and Giants, and on the scale, they're all white neutral.
Yeah.
Well, did you see what Ziebell did against Melbourne yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah.
That could be Newman.
It could be.
Because, well, as Harry said, he's one of the most underrated players in the comp.
Yep.
And he certainly is. Well, he's not underrated on this podcast. We've talked him up for a number of weeks. So leading into last week with a mix of different scale of hardness teams, he was averaging 100 over 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's bulk numbers.
It is.
Like, that's enough to pay attention. I do like, and that's why we were so big on recommending him last week, that St Kilda matchup, having that as part of your ownership time with him was significant because it was always going to get a big boost, and it did with that 139 I think he had. But over the next few weeks, he will average triple figures. So
Yeah, you would
he is a
think
good
so.
option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously saving some coin by going him. So you're saving that 113 by choosing Newman over Sicily.
Yeah.
Does Sicily score better than that 113K price tag?
He could.
He could.
The
That's
problem with the
exactly
sick
right.
dog, and I'm obviously a proud owner, you need, on a round like that, if you don't have the sick dog,
Yeah, he's just
you're
out
a
of
long
it.
way off the pace.
You're miles off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the dog can do. And if you captain that,
Yeah.
woo, you win
You're
a
feeling
car.
pretty good, aren't you?
You win a car.
A couple of other players in the 700K range. You've got Bailey Dale. So he's
Okay,
got Hawks
so
this
Bailey
week.
Dale's
Getting it
in
done now.
there because he goes Hawthorn West Coast.
Right.
Okay, so he's sort of coming off a couple of tons.
What is he a chance for that tag?
He'll be in the conversation.
He could be.
That Finn
So
tag
that would
this week.
probably be stay clear of maybe because there are other guys you could look at. And
Yeah.
Jaden Short's one I'm looking at. He has that St Kilda matchup this week.
Yes.
Followed by a North Melbourne one. So as far as the scale goes, he has the best run.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're looking at Geelong.
Yep.
So, as I said, there's 2 mega green teams in Bulldogs and Saints. Geelong are the only team that play them in the next 3 weeks.
Right.
So there's your Duncan, your Stewarts.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've given us enough confidence to go there.
Gosh. An easy matchup for Stewart, and he's back like the click of a finger, I reckon.
Yeah.
He could go big.
So he's at the G Friday night against Collingwood. Then looks like he's under the roof against St Kilda. And then he's got his last game at home against the Bulldogs.
Collingwood, that's who gave up all those points to
To the dog.
the dog.
Yeah.
Now, if you need to do something with your other move that requires cash,
Oh, yeah.
could
I love these
you
areas.
go Nick Daicos down to Jack Ziebell and you will pocket yourself about 280 odd K, I think it is.
Well, Clarko was back, and the old Ziebell from the early rounds was back.
I can't see him being vested for the rest of the year.
No, I'm with you. That role and his
It was
ability
ridiculous.
to get uncontested marks within that role.
So Bombers
is
this
extreme.
week.
Bombers this week, and they play the 1:45 game on Saturday, which means you will get a good enough look to see if he's starting in the vest,
Yeah.
where he has been. I just don't think he does anymore.
No, nor do I. And if he plays the way he does, there's no way he's getting subbed off.
But is there any risk yet? It's 3 games to get through. There's no vest.
605K. If that you need price,
So if because you've got Windhager, for example.
yes,
And you might need to put money on top of him to make him a premium.
yeah, yes, and you could go in these areas. If you
If
need
you've
money,
got a Himmelberg, you put that money on top
Yep.
of them.
if you need money, the money's sitting right there with Ziebell. If you want to do that,
Under Clarko, Ziebell would be averaging over 100,
yep.
and he will the rest of the year now.
They could be some numbers to crunch this week, I reckon.
Definitely.
To see exactly the
I'm waiting for
difference.
someone to do it for us.
All right, so they're probably the main options if you go on defenders then.
I think so.
Yep.
Now, obviously, people have DPP. You might have a defender in the midfield, or I think actually the Traders team had that.
Did it?
So,
Yeah.
Anyway, we can have a bit of a flick through and have a look. And anyway, you could be going a different position.
Yes.
We'll stay on that really cheap theme then, and that might be Luke Jackson. Could you DPP there,
We-
Jackson?
Yes,
You could.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
You definitely can.
At
He's
that
cheap.
price, that ceiling, that role, the fact he never plays against a
734K.
ruckman.
You're making 150 out of that one.
Yeah. It's well worth a play.
What could he be? So he's got no opponent in the next
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is that a 110 plus over the next 2? Is that being conservative?
No, I think it's fair.
Yep. and at a decent price.
Yeah.
He busted out at 149.
Yes.
So he can just hit numbers.
Yep, certainly can. Yep, tick it off, dog. I tick that one for sure.
Who else you got there thinking about?
Sam
going
Flanders
DPP.
is another guy that I'm he's still cheap. He's still going at that 95 mark. I know the boat.
I think Jackson over Flanders.
Yeah,
now,
I
though,
agree.
For
I
what
agree.
that is, and for less cash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Took's coming back to take some CBAs as well.
Well, then midfielder is Took an option
Nah.
for these last 3 weeks because
he?
he's at 800.
He's
Did
got-
you see enough?
He's got Sydney and Sydney this week, so I think that's enough to say no.
Tom Green didn't struggle.
No.
Is Tom Green an option then?
God,
Unique for
he
someone
has
that
to
we
be.
know that he was. Where's he at?
He's in Port Adelaide this week.
His draw's too hard.
It's too hard, and then he finishes
All the
with
way
the
home,
with the
so-
Blues, Roy.
Oh,
No,
put a line through the big fella.
cross him off your list.
Crikey, you don't want that in the GF.
It's interesting though in that game this week, the Suns playing at the SCG against the Swans. Whether Took will tag again? Does he go to a Goulden? Does he
Definitely not
go
gonna
to
tackle as much? I don't.
You know
think.
what I mean? Like he's a hard guy to stop, but
Is he?
No.
He's going to think twice about tackling.
or
now.
at least where he puts his hands. So don't
At
know.
the hips. At the hips.
Yeah.
Don't tackle the tackle.
So
Simple.
we're in the forward line. We're saying that Luke Jackson is great value.
Yes.
2 great games coming up,
Yeah.
coming off a 150.
Look, it's not a name we haven't floated or even flirted with in the past. We got him in when Max was out for a thumping score
Yep.
in the past. Darcy's not coming back. That's a good play.
It's a good play.
Yeah.
Tom Liberatore.
Yes.
So a few dollars to get to him if you wanted a midfielder that's definitely going to be unique.
Does he get the Windhager tag this week? I don't
He's
think
too
so.
inside, isn't he?
They don't. Yeah, I think you're right.
If you're
Well, I tell you what,
banging
he's
on that
definitely not
an
going to get the
outside player.
Windhager tag because I don't think they're in the same venue.
Who's that?
Oh, you mean Maginness? That's what you meant.
Oh,
I
Maginness.
actually, I
You went with
calculated
it.
that in my head.
Yeah, sorry. Oh,
'Cause I
good
thought
one,
I knew
Roy.
what you meant
What?
because I don't listen to you properly.
No.
but I thought,
You
talking
listen
about
enough
tag.
just
You said-
to know.
I heard you say tag, and you said liver, and I'm going, oh yeah,
And I tried to be funny.
Yeah, well, you didn't.
Sorry.
I'm not even going to write that one down.
you peanut.
And for the record, you were up to 0 jokes this podcast. I have not yet written one
I'm
down.
not feeling that well.
Yeah, well, you had a big
Right.
night last
You
night.
did.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's a big night. I forgot to write his name down. As a defender, Hayden Young.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoops. Forgot about Hayden.
CBA's gone up a fair bit. So he's at 740. Again, you'll make that 150 out of going
Yeah.
down to him.
Look, he's very good.
Doing
play.
those roles.
So him and Jackson, they're almost on par at the moment as options.
It's just that that easy reward of West Coast. But is Young in trouble for that because he won't have anyone to do a job on?
This
Oh,
week,
he'll go to Kelly.
he has to go to Tim Kelly. He had 77% CBAs.
Yeah, so that's even up on last week.
Yeah.
52 the week before.
It's a significant role change.
He's
and
tackling.
He's tackling. That's
Yep.
the thing. He's
Yep.
found his tackle.
He scored a lot.
He's never laid a tackle this year.
Turk's been given lessons all around the country and in the league. Right. How to find your tackle.
He's definitely an option.
He is. Yeah, no, great option, I reckon.
There's actually plenty of options for Daicos.
There are.
You can go big, middle, or even down to the Ziebell.
Yeah.
What about Matt Crouch if you're looking for someone cheap in the midfield?
Yep.
Yep. I tick that off as well.
728.
Yes.
Coming off a 120.
120.
So that's back-to-back tons.
He's at the Gabba this week. So, yeah,
Tough.
it'll be harder.
But still, he's just a little ball magnet.
He'll
isn't
get
he?
his 30 touches.
Yeah, he will,
Yep.
eh?
I
Without,
think there's a lot of names there that you can be considering.
Yeah.
And I guess there's other issues that coaches have. Try to get your Windhagers up, your Himmelbergs, etc. Work out who those worst players are, and
Yeah.
some of those will come through in the questions soon.
There's-
But, yeah.
There's a lot of good teams at the moment. Working out who their worst players are is not as simple
No.
as that. So there's people coming off hundreds that are in the barrel for people. Like
Yep.
Will Day actually played well
he was awesome.
last week, and he's got a reasonable matchup this week. But I've seen people
Pull the trigger there.
pulling the trigger there because
So
their
you-
teams are so good.
could you jump at a shadow or two, or not a shadow, but like on that form that team's doing, jump at these tags? Like
Yeah.
the high IQ trade of getting rid of Daicos last week
Yeah.
was genius.
Yeah, it was. God, I could just. That's why I'm no good. I could never do that.
No.
I prefer to back in the player.
Yep.
Just go, you beat that.
Well, he didn't.
No, he certainly didn't. So what about then, say, a Jack Steele this week? Do you just pull the trigger on that?
And just get off someone who had a poor score.
Yeah.
Because you just don't accept it.
Is that too reactive?
It's just not acceptable.
Is that reactive compared to people being proactive with a Daicos
Who's
type?
still got this week?
Steele's got Richmond on Sunday.
He should score it right there.
Yes, you're right.
He played Richmond in round 14. Ready?
Yeah.
60.
Oh, my God.
But that was back
That was when he was injured and
That's
sore
when
and-
Steele was burned Steele. So before that 59 last week,
No one's still
116,
being
133.
that Steele. We want him to be the good Steele.
The last Steele.
The man of.
So it's a good one to bounce back on, and then he's got Geelong the week after. So if you want to jump, you can jump.
You got to remember, Carlton did have Crip tonight out there.
Good one.
Thanks. Put it down. That's a joke.
That is a good one, actually.
Didn't get half the love it should have got in this room.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
What? That was funny.
It was all right.
It's out of your reach. You probably don't understand it.
You just worry about who bloody Windhager's tagging this week.
I'm really worried about that.
Look, it's not. It
Can't believe
wasn't the
he's
kind of
flying along
joke you
since-
laugh at, but it was genuinely a funny call.
Yeah.
Someone would have laughed.
All right, let's have a look at the trades for this week and the most traded. So let's start actually with the most traded out. Of course, it is Nick Daicos because he's so highly owned, but also going Harry Sheezel.
Oh, our boy.
That's not fair. No. Marcus Windhager, Harry Himmelberg, and Elijah Hewitt. People are moving on. Now, the most traded in, and we're looking here at that Daicos move. So, number one, after that 160, it is the SicDawg.
Yeah.
He is coming in with Nic Newman, the second most traded in. James Borlase, if you wanted that rookie downgrade, he was very good. 90 on debut there. Jack Ziebell. And then Luke Jackson after that big 149, which does take us to our trades for this week. And Luke Jackson is coming in for the Warn Dogs. I'm getting him from Sheezel, and Daicos goes to Sicily. So a good move, I think. I'll be here watching Sicily at UTAS Stadium on Sunday, and I really hope he has a big amount
I don't
of
think
marks.
you should be allowed to own him.
No, I don't think so either.
Anyway, I'm doing a very similar move there in Luke Jackson coming in, and I'm following a little bit of scalar hardness here and going with Jaden Short for my Daicos with that juicy matchup this week against the Saints.
Yeah, so I've obviously got to get rid of Daicos as well, and I'm getting rid of Jack Steele. I've actually spat it after that performance.
Ooh.
And I'm getting Sicily and your mate,
Yeah.
Caleb Sarong.
Yep.
Oh, finally.
Yes.
What a matchup.
You don't
this week.
like Caleb Sarong, though?
I like him when he scores over 110.
Which he did. And do you know he's now averaging more than Brayshaw?
Yes.
Who would have thunk it?
Well, I would have.
Oh,
He's my boy.
he is.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy official.
All right, plenty of questions have come through for, basically, at the end of the day, Nick Daicos.
Nick Daicos.
What are we doing? Hopefully we've covered that pretty well.
We've thrown out a lot of names. I reckon there'll be a few ranking questions coming up in here.
Well,
I would say so.
do you want to beat some of those?
In what regard?
Like, do you want to rank some players? Roy's already done. You're going SicDawg over Docherty.
Yes.
Okay. Where would you put Newman in those two there, Dog?
So,
I'd have to say after them because I'd just go to the big dog.
Yep.
But the
All right.
Newman play is there if you
It
need
is.
that little bit of cash.
I've still got Sinclair ahead of Newman.
Okay. What about the guy that I'm looking to bring in, which would be a Jaden Short? Jaden Short against Newman, there's about $80,000 in that.
I'm going Newman over Short.
Are you?
Yep, despite Short having, you would think, instant reward of 120.
Now, do we have Ziebell at the bottom of the pile, but as a worthy trade option if you need the cash?
Yep.
I think, and this is an easy thing to say, it's all going to be very team dependent. What are you doing with that other trade?
Yeah.
Like, to even get a Sicily or a Docherty, you need cash.
Yep.
So that other trade would do that. I wouldn't do a bench downgrade, I don't think, to be trying to do that move. I'd prefer to get the cash from the... I'd prefer to be doing another on-field move,
Yeah.
and therefore my Daicos would become a cheaper player.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
That
So,
sound
yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. So, I mean, he's definitely in play. Yeah. 100% too right.
Too right.
All right, let's have a look at some of the other questions. Can we trade Tom Green from AC here?
His draw's too hard.
It is.
You want at least one easy game in there.
So that was a red team he played last week,
Yeah,
though.
because he's very good.
So this one he's heading to Port Adelaide.
Yep, tough.
And then, as we said, he's got Carlton at the end in what would be hopefully your grand final. So I don't think so.
Is he underpriced? Yes.
Yep.
Is he a gun with a high ceiling? Yes. But I think there's better options with better draws.
Agree.
Now, Digger wants to know, is it Newman or Day for Nick Daicos? Is Day an option?
To bring him back.
Well, he's in pretty good form.
He is.
I think I'd be going Newman over Day.
I'm going Newman over Day.
People are looking to offload Day.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Newman over
Well,
Day.
you don't have to zig all the time. You could zag.
You could.
You could.
What does that even
Don't
mean?
have to be a sheep, mate.
What does that even mean?
Like zigzag.
Good coaches are zigging. He's saying you're zagging.
Is that what you're saying?
Who goes first for Tia here? Sheezel or Decam? Darcy Cameron.
That was disappointing
It was.
from Darcy.
It was.
An 80 without Mason
Who they
Cox
got this
there.
week? Geelong.
Yeah, they can be very hit and miss as well. Yeah, I think Sheezel can go.
Yeah.
I don't like recommending that. Hopefully she's turned off after listening to this pod.
I dare say he has.
No, what about what he did?
Oh, no, this needs to be spoken
This
about.
needs to be spoken of.
This was very disappointing.
Right, so we
actually.
finished the interview with...
He's a fellow fantasy coach.
No, we finished the interview with Sheezel, and obviously we stopped recording, and afterwards we usually go, thanks, mate, blah, blah.
And then they normally say, oh, you guys are legends.
Yeah, great podcast. Listen to it every week. Warney starts having a go at him about his
he
50.
did.
Don't call it having a go.
You were.
What did you say?
Unprofessional.
You go, you cost me my league match this week, mate.
Well, he led the question.
No.
He asked me, so it's fantasy finals.
Yeah, and you go, you cost me my match.
No, I did not say those words. I said, I was playing against someone that didn't have you. And then he realised.
Is it fantasy finals? That's a lot different to bag me out for going crap. That's what you heard. Because that's what you did to him.
You just didn't need to go there.
I didn't give him the -3 because I was going to this week.
Oh, my God. No, Dog, I can't believe you did that. It's nice to build a relationship with these guys so they want to come back in the future. He couldn't run far enough after your, I don't know, borderline bullying.
He felt disappointed the way in which the team played and the way in which he played. You didn't need to rub it in.
He'd already copped it from a couple of mates. He's
did
met
say
you
that.
10 minutes
He
ago,
did
and
say
then
that.
you're getting into him.
We actually forgot to tell him what his prize is as well.
What was his prize?
A Palmer with the Traders.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to come for that
He
now.
won't come.
No, I reckon he will.
He'll just go with us,
I've
right?
got his
Depends
number
if
now.
you're coming.
Don't bring the... I've got his number now.
He was a legend.
He was good.
He was.
You just didn't need to kick him while he was
No,
down.
you did not.
I wasn't kicking. Now, Chillo has got this question. All right, this is interesting. Lloyd, is he then an option here as a defender? Because he's got Lloyd and Butters or Short and Flanders.
Look, he was good.
Lloyd and Butters feels better.
It does, doesn't it? What
Lloyd-
did Lloyd...
He's got
have
92, 127.
What have they got coming?
They go Gold
gee.
Coast,
Oh,
Adelaide.
Gold Coast.
Adelaide, are they still hard? For
They are for
defenders?
defenders. So, yes, they are very hard for defenders. It's a no. It's a no to Jake Lloyd. We've got to remember, they look great. Those numbers look fantastic. But not that long ago, he had a 30. Sorry, that would have been probably an injury. A 79, a 73. Like
TKO.
they still have, they still have the ability to score those. You're telling me, though, that Butters is back.
Butters is back.
Right. Okay.
Finn wants us to rank Newman, Young, and Ziebell. Has got the order right there. Well, do you have Ziebell ahead of Young?
Which Finn's this?
McGuinness.
No, Finn wants to rank.
I know. But what's his last name? I'm not talking to him if it says McGuinness.
His last name is 9529026.
Still could be him.
It's undercover Finn.
Finn and a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
I think he had the order right, though, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
What was the order again, Dog?
Newman, Young, Ziebell. And that is price order as well, I assume.
Yeah.
I reckon it would be.
That's the order.
Yep.
That is the order. Ziebell is honestly only that play if it totally fixes up your horrible spot on the ground.
Gutsy play.
It is. Yeah.
Braden, Daicos to Newman, Sheezel to Jackson. Hey, close to my moves.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's ticked.
Or do we trade Neil with a tag likely coming this week? So who's going to Neil this week? A V8?
Brisbane. Who do they play? They play Adelaide. Not sure who he thinks going to tag.
Oh, Keys does if they
probably
want to throw him back.
Well, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you make him tag?
Oh, I don't know. You might as well.
You might as well.
It's just whether there's room for him in their midfield mix at the moment, clogging up so many CBAs.
Well, you got Crouch, you've got Laird, you got Dawson. Are you going to bring in an extra guy to tag?
Because it bumps one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, we got away with one. As Neil owners, we got away with one on the weekend.
Yeah.
Tunning up with a tag, that's big for him.
Very big for him.
And another hard tag, and there's a 60 or 70 around the corner.
Are you moving? So for you then, because you're moving Steele, who would you move first out of those guys? And you're moving Steele, but could you do?
It'd have to be the guy coming off a 50, wouldn't it?
Nicholas listens to you a bit, Cow. No, goes out for the ceiling of SicDawg or the safety of the dog.
How did he spell
Yeah,
ceiling?
ceiling S with
Oh,
Yeah.
clever.
Don't you worry about spelling though, old mate. Here and here. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's elite trades. Elite trades.
Yeah.
I am serious. I have not done my numbers.
No, he
The
wants you
question
to,
is-
he wants you to pick which
Oh,
one.
who do
for
you pick out of the ceiling of the SicDawg or the safety of the dog?
Oh, you're dogging it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you go
It's all
straight.
about ceiling at this time of the season now
It
as
is.
well, isn't it?
yeah.
There is a very good chance that my captain...
There's 3 balls left in this innings.
That's it.
And you need 12 to win.
Yeah,
Is that the scenario?
The Dogs won.
You need 2 6s.
yeah. Have a ball up your sleeve at the end.
But 3 games you can hit 4 4s. 3 4s even.
Yeah.
Go for it in 2.
Oh, you want one up in your pocket. The SicDawg could be a serious captain contender.
Yeah.
He goes
I don't doubt
150
it.
out here with your captaincy. That is a day.
That's a day.
Yep.
It is. Tick off liver for Steele here for Jack.
Yep, ticket.
Yes.
Libba's not pumping out 50s.
No.
There's something wrong with Steele again. I think there must be. His possession count. So even though last week he scored well, 2 weeks ago, his possessions were still down. He tackled his way there. In that score, he had 10 tackles on the weekend.
He had 10 tackles. There's 40 points, Roy. 40 points out of his 59. He scored 19 points.
Tackles for these elite midfielders is supposed to be bonus points to get you up to 130.
Yep.
They're not supposed to be what gets you to 59.
Unbelievable. 4 free kicks against also hurt.
Gulp.
All right.
That's
Next
bad
one.
tackling, maybe.
Good question here from AC. For those with the buy-in league, how should we think with trades? So have you got the week off in your league and you're not really pushing for overall and just trying to get the best score each week?
Yeah.
Do you cash up or do you actually start moving to going, and this is almost fixture thinking, who have got the best matchups in round 23 and 24?
I think that's what you start to look at.
So you could get a player that might have a tough one this week.
Yeah.
But an easy one next.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
you
mind
definitely
that.
could.
Yeah.
Or cash in the bank. Is that
Well,
good?
yeah. If your team's weak, got a couple of guys that you know you need to get rid of, I'd take a punt and cash up and hope you don't get any primo injuries. Nothing worse than primo injuries when you are cashed up.
And it might be someone that
That
you think
sucks.
that you might be picking up next week, but they're at a better price this week because they'll jump up in price. So who's let's use Luke Jackson as an example there, because
He's not cheap next week, is he?
he's not as cheap next week. So those guys are
It's like Newman.
Yeah.
Newman went from bargain to, well,
Yeah,
you're
premium
paying up
numbers.
now.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Justin says about Luke Jackson here, first score over 90 in some time, and it was
Yes.
big. We'll come West Coast likely to be without Williams. Do you tick him from Darcy Cameron? Would you go Darcy Cameron to Luke Jackson?
Yeah, I'd tick that. There'd be a little bit of money in there.
He's shown the way better ceiling, but he hasn't showed the consistency, the safety of Cameron, really.
Oh, they're actually the same price. Cameron is $730. You need $4,000 to go to Luke Jackson.
I think you chase Jackson in that matchup.
Action Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
A few good ones here, like Leo saying, "Why do I play this game?"
No,
That's that.
it's not the attitude I like hearing, Roy.
JS
No.
has got when does fantasy open for 2024?
Oh, I liked hearing
Look,
that.
enjoy the grind. Like,
Yes.
be frustrated.
Yep.
Hate it.
Yep.
But keep loving the grind.
Yeah.
Like, you got to push through to the end. It's actually a resilience building activity. If you've got a mate that pulls out,
Yep.
that's weak.
Yep.
They need to be better than that.
They do.
You need to just knuckle down and make it to the end. Whether you're having a good year or a bad year,
Yep.
you just need to push through to the finish.
It's a life lesson.
It is.
Yep.
And it's all about resilience.
Yep. Well said.
John Rowe, does hat come with free shipping to the UK? Don't know. Check the terms and conditions. We don't even have any experience on whether it comes with free shipping to Tasmania
but if
across the Bass Strait.
if you're winning from over there, you can damn well pay for your hat,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
That's pretty good effort.
It's a great effort.
Great
And
effort.
I'm not happy
Especially
about
with-
it.
All right, Cooper wants to know Butters or Docherty,
Doc.
You better go, Doc.
Yep.
Day or Flanders. I don't know whether it's to get in or get out.
To get in,
It would be to get in, I reckon. And, man, oh, man, it's probably Day.
I think it's both. Day to get in, and if you're looking to get one of them out, you could probably go Day as well.
I think Day's going to finish the year well.
He was so good last week.
Yeah.
Where are you going here? Some names that are not massive friends of ours.
Right.
Miller wants to know, is it McRae and Young as a combo
Okay.
or Dunks and Ziebell?
It's Dunks and Bull.
It's Dunks and Bull.
Those two could be going 120.
McRae, we just don't know. I think he had a 90 on the weekend again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Look, Dunkley, I fully expect him to be going 115 as of next week
Yeah.
to make it up for that pathetic effort. And I think Bull, in this scenario, is worth the risk to pump a 110 alongside him.
Bulldogs do go Hawthorn West Coast. They do have a nice couple coming up.
They certainly do.
Yep.
Binierg. Traders' confidence levels in Steel this week and traded Daicos to Bont last week. Well done. One of the 189 coaches there.
Well done.
I might actually start crossing off the list. See if I can find them all.
You'd find
Because they literally have told us.
Bingo. I got the 189.
Well done.
Yeah, no, that's outstanding.
That's a good move.
And would have been a vice captain on that as well.
I might do a good move like that this week.
Yeah.
I'm sick of not doing good moves.
You know where to go?
Is it time for Ben
I
Hobbs
do.
or Nick Martin to go? Oh, who goes first?
Both.
Jeez. Just
Jeez.
trade them both and keep Daicos.
Less frustrating because there's no expectation.
Hobbsy can go, I reckon.
Yeah, Hobbs can go.
How good was Tom Rockcliffe? Very good.
Very good.
World record season average.
Elite.
He was having a bit of a crack on Twitter this weekend as well.
Oh, was he?
He was, yeah.
I love when he gets
Yeah,
mouthy.
up and about he
Daicos.
was.
He must have had a weekend away
Yep.
on the cans from the family. Yeah.
Yeah, loved
Big.
it.
Nick Newman or Sicily?
It's the
You just
dog.
got to go the
It's
dog.
the dog.
Spend the cash.
But-
You have to.
Bark.
Yeah.
Hard.
A Newman or Matt Crouch? There's dollars.
Oh, look. I think
man.
I'm nearly Matt here.
I think I'm mad as well.
Taking the money into account.
Agree.
That's a bargain.
Is Callum Mills an option again?
Yes.
No, we got away with one. If you're with me, we got away with one there. He's still a trade out option.
He plays the Suns
He's
at
cheap
home.
though.
Oh, he's cheap.
so cheap.
It's cheap.
When did he? I saw him running for marks. When
Yeah.
did that?
He took a few.
He did. Yeah, gosh. I don't know what happened there the other 5 weeks.
Bo wants to know, is bringing in the big Texan a good option? Well, we've talked about the round 24 play of it. Could you do it now?
Gosh. He's in very good form.
He's been very good.
I'm a no
I'm a no.
for the record, but yeah.
But I can see exactly what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Who does he play round 23?
So Tex goes. So he's in Brisbane this week.
Yeah, so that's a tough one, you
Yep.
think.
He's then got Sydney, West Coast.
Is Sydney hard for forwards?
Uh,
Do forwards kick any goals?
I can have a
against?
quick look
A few
for
of their
you.
defenders have come back into the team, haven't they?
Brisbane are a red team. Sydney are white. And then, of course, West Coast are...
Because that could be one of those plays for people with a bye this week in their
Oh,
finals.
yeah, yeah. I think
Sydney's probably
I
not
reckon
the matchup
Sydney-
you really want from him.
Sydney probably had a few weeks green when they were completely decimated back there,
Yep.
but they've work their way back to weight.
So against West Coast last week, Kyle Langford, 5 goals, 3. So there will be goals up for grab for Tex.
There will.
Because
All right.
he loves a medal. He wants that Coleman medal.
He does.
I think we've had enough.
We have.
It's been a long pod, but it's been a great one because we did have Harry Sheezel. Thanks,
Yes, we
Harry,
did.
for coming on. And, we look forward to having that Palmer with you for your...
You'd be
award.
nicer to him next time, Doug.
I was nice, and he knew. He knew.
Yeah, he laughed.
He's a fantasy coach.
He laughed, but only like through awkwardness.
Yeah. God. Poor Harry.
Nah,
I know you're listening, Harry. I do apologise on behalf of Warnie. So, come with me and Roy.
apologise on behalf of you every single week
I know.
for your behaviour.
Check your ranking, bro.
How do you do, fellow kids? You're so cool.
Wrap it up.
Right, we're done for another week. Only a couple of weeks to go. 3 weekends of fantasy footy to go. Make sure you have got us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify because you'll get those bonus episodes as well where we'll be talking to a highly ranked coach as they try to hunt that highlight.
You know who we've got next week?
Who?
Calvinator.
Imagine doing a sit-down interview with you and the insight that people could learn from that.
People would want to hear it. People would want to hear it.
In the off-season, I might set it up like bit of Ray Martin interviewing Calvinator. God, you'd be awkward in an interview.
I wouldn't. I'm awkward asking questions. It's easier to receive.
Awkward the whole lot.
You're
All right.
more of a receiver. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, legends. We'll see you next time.